Let me just adjust my camera. So I'm in California, and I just want to talk about my experience going to the grocery store right now in the middle of a pandemic and with so much information being on the news, looking so scary. When I walked into the grocery store and I saw the shelves empty, um, and people just panicking and loading up with things that they may or may not even need, I really got the sense of how hard it is to be empathic in a grocery store when it's like that. I think it's already hard to walk into a grocery store as it is. I tend to clear my energy and put on a light bubble so I'm not overwhelmed. You could say hi if you're here. And what I realized though is having to get supplies to be prepared in the middle of everyone else's panic is a very tricky experience. So I wanted to come talk about how to handle it in case any of you haven't shopped yet and you need to go into the stores, or you're wanting to feel a little bit more prepared and get some food and supplies and stock up a little bit. What I realized is if you have been meditating and you're able to stay calm and you walk into those stores where the space isn't like that, people can feel it. So on an unconscious level, they're kind of attaching to you. They're so you feel overwhelmed when you're in the store because of that energy. So if you're around people that are panicking and you're calm, you're kind of rippling out calm, but then it can feel overwhelming because they're attaching to it, to your calm. So it's really important that people find their own sense of balance, of security, their own answers, their own intuitive information, and that you don't walk in there and just kind of try to unconsciously like hand it out. As by nature, most people that are healers or intuitives, we're givers, so we want to make people feel better. You can feel that, like maybe the grocery checker feels, well, actually, I could see and sense that they just had a crazy day and they were just all frazzled, really. And we have that in us where we want to kind of send out comfort and love. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if you do that for everyone, you won't have any left for yourself. So it's a really good idea before you walk into any kind of situation where you feel like there could be panic, there could be people um, feeling stressed and worried, that you take a moment, you could do it in your car, to just imagine quickly that you're creating roots down into the ground, that you're really grounded. You could take a few deep breaths and then imagine light coming down and just really coming through your crown chakra and your body. So you're grounded, you're connected up, and then you want to put on kind of a barrier, an energetic bubble before you walk into that space. So you want to have everything be cleansed and cleared because you don't want to trap energy into your bubble if you're already carrying it. But you just imagine roots going down, light coming down, and kind of just washing away anything in your energy that's not serving you, can wash out of your car or wherever you are. And then imagine like a big bubble of light around you. And then when you go into that space, you stay in that space. And if other people's energy starts to want to attach, they should just reach the edge of the bubble. So that when you come out of the store, you don't feel, like crying in a corner. And I didn't realize that. So I had come yesterday from a meditation class. So I was very grounded, very calm, feeling very good. And I decided that I should probably get some supplies. I know they're talking about possibly us going into self-quarantine, all those things. And I was like, I don't have a lot of canned goods or pastas in my cupboard. I'll just go get some things. And I just walked into that store. So I walked in happy, calm, centered, into the middle of seriously chaos. It was Trader Joe's, and it was the end of the day. They said people had just been shopping since 8 in the morning when they opened. All the flour was gone, the canned foods, the eggs, the produce, the frozen foods, the frozen vegetables were wiped out. I mean, pretty much everything. But because I had come from that class, I was very grounded and centered, so I could make good choices as to what we needed. But I also noticed by the time I got back to my car, I just felt like the walls were closing in. I felt so overwhelmed. And then when I get on my car, I was feeling like just fine again. And then I had to go to the next store because, of course, they were out of most of the stuff. And so I went to the next store, and same thing. I was grounded, centered, walked in. And by the time I left, I just felt like, oh my gosh, that was so overwhelming. And so today, when I was doing my meditation, I saw that what's happening is that idea of entrainment, where another energy will match an energy and they become the same. I feel like people are feeling that panic all around us. Well, they're panicked all around us and we're feeling calm. So they're wanting to kind of match up to our energies because we feel good. So if you've been a person who's meditating, doing self-care, taking salt baths, taking your time in nature, not getting caught up in the panic, I'm sure you're getting prepared just in case you need to be at home and eat for a while and you don't want to run out of food. But there's a difference between being prepared and being panicked. So if you're in there to shop and be prepared and someone else is panicked, they're like, oh, that feels really good. I want to be next to her. But you just want to make sure that you have that boundary strong so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You shouldn't leave the store feeling like you want to shut it down and like crawl under the covers or need to, be on the couch and watch a movie to recover. That's a sign that your energy was leaking too much or being um, kind of overtaxed. You want to be able to walk in, get what you need, come out. You can even, I had a Kundalini yoga teacher who used to say like to wipe off the energy. So you could do something like that. She just said never do it in your house because then you'll have like a pile of energy you don't want. So like at the front door, or like by the car, you just wipe it off and make sure that you're keeping your energy clear, because the best thing we can do in these kinds of situations is to be that calm in the storm and not panic. So if people are panicking around you and you can stay centered, that's the easiest way to access your intuition and to know what do you need to do, if anything. Intuition, clarity, I talk about it all the time. It's just my biggest thing that I've been studying for years, and I've just always wanted to be like, how can I hear it more clearly? Clearly, how can I hear it more clearly? And the thing I know is if you can be calm and grounded and not have a lot of clutter and interference, which includes other people's energy, then you can make more informed decisions. You can sift through the information and decide, what do I need to do for myself? So I just wanted everyone to be mindful when you go into the stores. If you're gonna, even if you go online, you're still connecting with all the news, all the stories, all the messaging, and the media is making everything look, in angry colors. It's in red. The map of the virus spreading is in red. It's all very deliberate so that you want to click on it, and it has that shock value, which I'm not saying I don't take this seriously, and I definitely think if you're in the high risk categories, but I'm saying that we don't have to take on the media's fear, because then we can't hear our intuition and be prepared for whatever we need to be prepared for. However you feel you need to prepare your household is how you should. But I went to Walgreens because I realized I was out of the thermometer covers for my thermometer, and I was like, crap, we probably need to be able to take our temperature over the next couple of weeks. And online you can't order anything, it won't come till May or whatever. So I went to Walgreens to get a thermometer, and this woman was in there, and she asked the worker who was stocking the shelves, what are the symptoms of this virus anyway? And the lady said, well, you could get a sore throat. She goes, oh, I better get Chloraseptic. And she goes, you might get a cough. Oh, I better get some cough syrup. So she was just like grabbing things off the shelf, but she didn't look up like what she might need or what might help it. Like it was just like, someone said I better go buy stuff, so here I am buying stuff. Where I think if you meditate and then you take in the information more calmly, then you might know, like I did, I woke up this morning and was like, I don't have a working thermometer. I should probably have that. I didn't go in and just go, I'll take one of these. It's like, I need a thermometer. And that was mostly based on a trip we went on one time where we didn't have one, and it was very challenging not to know if your kids have a fever or don't have a fever, and I don't ever want to be in that situation. So that's it basically. I just want you to know that all the practices you've had over the years, all the things you've been doing to learn to ground yourself, to pull in the light, to have an energetic bubble, this is not the time to forget it. This is the time to use it more. Put it on in your car before you walk into the store. When you walk out, you could just wash off that energy, take Epsom salt baths. That way you'll be able to show up for yourself, for your family, for your friends in a way that's more calm and centered than if we all become panicked, no one's going to be making good decisions, and then it'll look like it looked at the grocery store where people are just buying everything off the shelf. Where is I was thinking like, well, if I had flour and eggs and butter, we could just make pancakes. Like we'll be fine. But everyone had bought all the flour, the eggs, the butter. So yeah, it's a tricky time we're in, but managing your energy, this is what I feel like so many of us have been training for, is being able to be that calm, but that doesn't mean you want to just spread it across everywhere you go. And that's my message for today, is just you want to be that calm, but you want to make sure you're still having that energy bubble so that you don't just spread it out like every single place you go, or you won't have anything left. You'll come home just depleted, and then you're not keeping your immune system up. So really doing your best to keep your energy, I don't like the word guarded, but kind of yours, and having a boundary as to like how far that will go. That's a much better practice for just your whole life always. There's always going to be chaos and things happening in your life. The more you can get quiet and show up centered, the better it is. So I'd love to hear any other ideas you have. I know I mostly connect to people who are empathic, who are feeling all those feelings, feeling the stress. So I think you probably have some great tools too. So put them in the comments. Anything that might help people recognize if it's their energy, if it's other people's energy, and not take on anyone else's, and stay in that boundary and not let other people like just clip onto it like everywhere. You don't want to be like a magnet for everybody who's worried, to just be like, oh, she's calm, I'm just gonna stick to her like like glue, or like one of those sticky hands that they give kids at the dentist where you like stick them on the wall. Like you don't want to be something for everyone's sticky hands. You want to get what you need, be polite, like maybe that might help people in the grocery store. Like certainly be nice to the people who are dealing with all that stress. Like one of the Trader Joe's workers, she was finding things all over, and she was just like, I know we're running out of things, but that really doesn't mean they have to throw everything everywhere. And I was like, yeah, that would be a nice common courtesy to not trash the store when you're in it. Those poor workers looked so tired. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas for dealing with crowded spaces if you need to, so that you don't get depleted. And then if we do go into a situation, hi Diane, where we're home, I'm looking at more like I got, some junk food that I never get. We might as well eat some chips and dip while it's happening, and then enjoy the time with family. And then hopefully you all stay safe and healthy. But I just really wanted to come in and talk about the energy really quick, because I know I left the stores, and this morning I had to go back. I was still missing something, and it's overwhelming when you walk in there. But once I realized what was happening and that I could have that boundary, it was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then my energy has felt greater throughout the rest of the day. Whereas when I first left the store, I was like, I was going to need a nap. I was so tired. I have to sometimes take a moment to grab hold of take 5 deep breaths, Diane said before. Yeah, I like the idea of grabbing something too. Yeah, I definitely think so. And I took a breaths in the car before I went to the next store, which really, really helped. I felt like the car was kind of like my safe spot, and I could breathe and let it go and then go in. But yeah, it's intense energy right now. I'll be glad when it passes, but definitely I hope you all keep it up and keep your energy boundaries strong so we can keep our immune system up, and then we could be there for family or friends or whoever we might need to be there for, and help be that calm for everyone, but without giving our energy to everyone. So that's it. Good luck, everybody. Keep me posted how things are going. I'll pop back in here if anything else comes up. And bye, Diane. Good to see you.